we're going to take a big step down in this next interview with playwright Lee Papa. Now, this is an interview that is saved only from his correspondence later with you, because it does become a good portrait of the little sickening creature that he is. If you go through this interview, he half-asses most of the interviews. He gets indignant too that you sent him so many interviews when he already had a template of what the kind of interviews you had, and then he threatens to lie and say that he never did, and then you go to prove that he is a liar by posting this correspondence with him. We don't need to get too much into it, but this is one of the advantages, I think, of the video interview. If you had someone like this in a video capacity, I think that his lack of talent with words would be saved by him being able to orate it. And even though the interviews have long extended queries, although a bit more condensed in the video format, I think that that would be better for this type of mind. This one is almost impossible to save because he just doesn't have a way with words, and he has such a standard way of thinking of all sorts of things.
Yeah, and the guy obviously got caught up in his own self-styled persona of being sort of the Howard Stern of left-wing politics and blogs. I don't even know. This is like maybe 2009 or 2010 this interview happened. I don't even know if he's still online doing this stuff. I can't imagine doing such shallow stuff and whatnot. And that's not to say he didn't have some good points within his blogs, and he'd rip someone on it, but it was predictable. And I think it was Alex Sheramet who first got me, who mentioned it to him. Oh, if it wasn't him, it was maybe someone else on the E-list. Maybe it was this guy from Africa who I had mentioned got a little wacky later on. But yeah, Papa just comes off. I would hate to have to sit through a play that he wrote, because it's probably not good. He seemed to offer nothing, and I think someone, it might have been Keith Jackowitz. Keith had sent me a link one time to, there's several sites called like ratemyprofessor.com or something, and apparently he got a lot of low ratings from most of his students because they said he was so full of himself. And I remember I did get an email. I don't know if I put it on there. I got an email from a woman who claimed that she had been a student of his and he had been very nasty to her or whatnot. And she liked the interview only because it showed what an asshole he was. But yeah, there's really not much to say other than that, along with Lopate, Edward Hoagland, Congresswoman Patricia Schroeder, and Papa are probably the four bad interviews. They were just bad interviews. Lopate had a few points here or there. His was the best of those four. But you wonder why these people even agreed to be interviewed. They didn't put any effort to, and Papa too only answered about 2/3 of the questions. There was anywhere from 25 to 40% of the questions he didn't answer, and I could tell, and I think I said it in the email exchange. Clearly, he didn't even know or understand what I was talking about. It's not like he ignored them because they were too personal. They clearly went over his head.